Hi guys, it's Cindy. I'm here with a tutorial for you, and I also want to show you a new kit that I have available in my shop. If you want to jump right down to the tutorial, look at the link below and click on it, and you'll go right over to the tutorial if you don't want to see the kit first. But before you do, would you please subscribe and give me a like, because I really need to be seen on YouTube in order to continue doing free tutorials for you all. It really helps my channel. It makes a big difference for those of us who have YouTube channels. So thank you, thank you. So this video is about book plates. And what are book plates? Well, it was common for affluent people back in the day, because they were the only ones who could own books. It was common for them to commission an artist to make a personalized book plate for them. Because books were so expensive, they wanted to identify who the book belonged to in case they loaned it out to anybody or in case it got stolen. That was the original purpose of the book plate. And each book plate was custom designed for its owner, the owner of the book. And so it reflected their interests, their aspirations, sometimes even their social standing. They like to have, you'll see crests and coats of arms. Those were very popular, but some of them had castles, ships sailing on the ocean, landscapes. Actually, classical nudes were very popular as well, and animals, especially cats. Um, and books also were very common. And these to me are works of art, and they're really difficult to find for some reason. I don't know why, but I had a difficult time putting this kit together and finding book plates. So to me, they're just super interesting, and I wanted to put together a kit for myself. But as you know, when there's something that interests me, I assume it's going to interest some of you too, and so I digitize it so that you can also have fun with it in case we have the same tastes. So I put together a kit of digitized book plates. I also made some of my own that this is what the tutorial is going to be. I'm going to show you how I made these out of vintage postcards. But let me quickly go through the kit. First of all, this one is really fun. This is Walt Whitman, and it says, "My barbaric yop over the roots." Wait a minute. "I sound my barbaric yop over the roofs of the world." I can't speak today. And it's got some beautiful images on it. I have two in this kit that can be printed and put on the front of a book. Now, I did an 8.5 by 11 spread, but you can print it, use your print settings, and print it to the size you want. And I love this one. It's on marbled paper. These are digitized images of actual antique book plates. And so I took this one and I printed it at a setting of 5 by 7 and put it into the front of this antique book that I'm going to restore, The Last of the Mohicans. I think it's a really beautiful book, and the front was just really not attractive. It kind of just looked like this. And look at how this dresses the book up. Just beautiful. And now I can, once I finish learning my calligraphy, I can put my name here. So with the exception of this one here, because I just thought this was so funny and whimsical, with the exception of this one, I removed the names of the people. This one was inscribed with somebody's name. I removed it so that you can put your own name, or if you're gifting the book, put their name in the front of the book. So here are two. I'm going to show you that one in a minute, and that one. This yours are not going to print on this color. Yours are going to be totally black and white. I didn't have, yours are going to look like this. Okay, so if you want it to be a different color, you can print it on tea stained paper or um, print it any color that you want. I was messing around in Photoshop and I forgot to turn off this color before I printed it. So yours will print black and white. And here's an example of some of the beautiful artwork that you will receive. So here, your name can go in here. This one, I left the name in there, but it's a book and a candle, very ornate. Ex Libris, room for your name here, here, and two others. Just one of a kind. There are no two book plates that are alike from this era. Here's a larger one. And again, well, here's what it's actually going to look like. There we go. I left his name there. Some of them I left the name because it would have kind of ruined the look of it. For example, I could have spent a ton of time removing his name and then adding these lines in, but I just didn't want to because I just kind of, some of them I like the name, and you can always put something over that and put your own name there. Wisdom triumphs over destiny. And this one says their book. And you can put your name here or you can put your name here. And another beautiful image of books and a beautiful garden scene. Now what I would suggest is that you print these on, I just have these on something that's a little thicker than copy paper. I think it's 32-pound paper because you don't want to print it on heavy cardstock to bulk up your book. You just want it to lay nice and flat on that front page. Here are a few more. This one is colorized because if I had done it black and white, you wouldn't have seen the gorgeous, it looks like a sunrise or a sunset in the background. I wanted to leave the color here. There's a ship. There is no frigate like a book to bear us lands away. Love that. There goes somebody peeling out. You probably heard that. Ugh. It drives me crazy. There's one neighbor that peels out every single morning. Ugh. And here's a wonderful one. And you probably can't see it in the camera, but he's a muse and he's musing over Robin Hood with somebody peeking in his window. Isn't that beautiful? And then this is just a plain one that I thought was nice, and I put that on a separate page in case you wanted to make it larger or smaller. So that's most of the kit. Let me show you what else I did. So in the video to come, in the tutorial to come, as I said, I made these out of vintage postcards, and I put them in the kit for you. And then I have a blank vintage postcard down here. I would recommend printing these on cardstock, and then you can make your own or use the ones that I did if you like this kind of look. And to get this from the library of here, I did include some labels that you can cut out, and I typed on my vintage typewriter from the library of. I left some blank for you, so you can use these as many times as you want. And this is the back of a couple of the antique postcards that I have in case you want to put this on the back of the postcard. So this kit is now available. It's called the Book Plates Kit. It's available in my shop. I'll put the link below. And stay tuned for the tutorial if you want to know how to make book plates from vintage postcards. I got my new issue of Somerset Studio. Sorry for the glare. And there's a project in here. There are a couple of projects in here that I absolutely loved. This is the
winter 2021 edition, I believe. No, winter 2022. Sorry. And so I'm going to make something out of this, and I thought I would just do a video because I think those of you who junk journal will really, really like this technique, especially if you have a whole bunch of vintage postcards that you want to use up. I was really fortunate to find a stack of antique postcards at an antique store one day, and I haven't really wanted to use them because they're so beautiful, and a lot of them are written on the back, and so now it's time for me to get over it and use use some of these. I'm going to have to alter them. So this is a project by Diane Adams, and it is how to make handcrafted book plates from old postcards. So I'm going to show you, I won't probably do it exactly like she does, but I really love this idea. And also she made a handmade box to put these in, and I will probably do that in part 2 in a second video, so that if you wanted to do this as a gift or happy mail, you could make a stack of these and give them to somebody, or if you have a book lover in your life, you could do that. So the first thing that we need to do, well, let me show you this one, and then even in the magazine you get a pullout, and these are kind of chopped off, but the first thing that we need to do is make these tags to put on our postcards. There are a whole bunch of ways that you could make these. It's simple enough just to cut a piece of paper, you know, find a way. Just, I'm terrible at drawing. Cut a piece of paper, cut a bunch of squares, and if you have an angle punch like I do, just chop your corners off, and you have something that looks like this. Terrible drawing skills. So you want something that looks like that, or maybe not. Why did this just get so dark? Okay, I think that's better. And I have some labels that I had been starting to make and put from the library of using my old vintage typewriter on there, so I will have something like this in my digital kit for you. But one thing that I like to do, and I've mentioned this before, is when I buy chipboard tags, this is from Graphic 45, I like to keep these as templates. So I'm just going to, I think on most of them I'm going to use these, but I want to show you how to make your own if you don't want to do that. So I am just going to, I think I just want to use a green colored pencil. You could use a marker, or you could use any color you want, of course, including black. But for the few sample ones I'm doing, I am going to, you know what, that one's too big. I'm going to use this one. Let's use this one. Okay. And your first line that you do should be kind of thick. Okay, because then what you're going to do is just go in and do just a thinner line along the inside. Okay, again, my terrible drawing skills, that's why I'm doing mine in Photoshop. I have really bad hands and I just can't control things. But there it is. Then I'm going to take it to my um, typewriter. And actually, I'm going to do two more because I'm going to probably do a couple postcards today. I'm going to take it to my vintage typewriter and type from the library of on this, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I found out when I stepped away that I was wearing my headset, but it wasn't plugged in. So it was just picking up my voice from the camera in the first half of this. Hopefully you could hear me okay. Um, so my my typewriter was messing up on the green one. It was skipping, and my colon isn't working. I wanted a colon on the end of it, so this typewriter is from 1940, I think. So it's over 80 years old. I'm going to have my dear husband clean it and re-ink it and stuff for me. I think it's starting to fail, but I was able to do two from the library of Love It. So this one will just go in the scraps. By the way, I don't know if I said in the beginning, you can use any kind of paper that you want, but I think that this is going to work best with just regular photocopy paper, unless you really want the bulk, but these back in the day would have been rather thin. So I have a black and white postcard I could use. I chose a few that had just really beautiful images on them. Um, oh, this is just going to be so hard for me. I think this one I'm not going to be able to mess up. This is from 1909, and I believe that this might be a linen postcard. I need to check on that one before I mess it up. Here's a pretty one. That's a real pretty scene. So if you're interested in how to date your postcards, I have a video on that, on how to tell how old they are and whether or not they're in the public domain. If you don't have any writing or it hasn't been stamped on the back, there are ways to find that out. So let's do these two, I think. So the blue, what is with my lighting today? My goodness. So when I went to fix my lighting, I bumped my mute button and the entire rest of this video has no sound. So I'm going to do a voiceover now. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. So now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put the label on the postcard, and you can have them hang off the edge a little bit, and there was some writing up at the top that I kind of didn't want. So I decided to put it on the right hand side, I believe, and in the Stampier Somerset Studio magazine, she took stamps, vintage postage stamps, and cut them in half, and so I was thinking of doing that, but I believe I changed my mind. And I think I'll just speed this up and you can watch for a little bit while I figure out how I'm going to put everything together. And here is the finished postcard. I actually made two in this video, and let me show you the second one that I made. For this one, I put one of the labels from the Library of on the right-hand side and an old book page in the upper left-hand corner. And then I took a stamp set that I have and I stamped a few numbers on that book page. And I really like the look of masking tape when I'm junk journaling. It just gives it a cool look. And so I'm just taking a little strip of masking tape here and putting it on the bottom of that book page just to give it a little more texture and dimension. And then on this one I decided to I had a piece of a scrap of Tim Holtz paper, and I decided to just put that under the label. I inked it up a little bit, made a torn edge, and placed that under the label. And here's how the second postcard turned out. And both of these postcards are available in the digital kit. If you don't want to make your own or you don't have any pretty antique postcards, they're in the kit for you. So there is going to be a part 2 to this video in the Stampington magazine with this article. She actually made a box, if you can see that at the top there, that houses all of that you could there it is, that you could put these book plates in and you could gift them or just store them. And so I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make that box. She doesn't say in the magazine, she doesn't give any dimensions or anything, but I really like the look of it. And there are some other things in here that I'm going to be doing tutorials on as well. So sorry for the voiceover. You missed all of my stupid chatter, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye.